Looks like we're in tariff trouble again. So, what exactly are Trump's tariffs and why is Canada being hit with them?
So you can think of a tariff as basically a tax that one country places on the goods of another. So these are charged as a percentage of what a buyer will pay a seller for a certain good. So say you're an American company and you want to buy, I don't know, Canadian potash. Well, all of a sudden you have to pay 25% more for those same goods as you did previously. So this can actually be very expensive if you're paying millions of dollars for goods across the border. Trump claims that there's an illegal immigration crisis and fentanyl crisis in the United States, and he's using these tariffs to pressure Canada and Mexico to clamp down on this problem. Well, the issue is Canada is responsible for less than 1% of all fentanyl trafficking into the United States that were caught by US border agents. And since Trump signed this executive order, Canada's clamped down further on the border.
We responded to concerns, including from the president, by implementing an ambitious $1.3 billion border plan. A border plan that includes generational investments in new AI and imaging tools to stop the flow of fentanyl in its tracks, stronger coordination and information sharing with American agencies, along with the deployment of drones, helicopters, and additional personnel to keep our border secure.
How is Canada fighting back? Can we fight back?
So Justin Trudeau has already announced 25% retaliatory tariffs on the United States, and these will target $30 million of goods right now, as well as an additional $125 million in goods 3 weeks later. More locally, Ontario Premier Doug Ford has already threatened to cut off electricity imports into the United States. He's also threatened to strip American alcohol out of the LCBO, as well as tear up an $100 million deal with Elon Musk's Starlink.
So, Kevin, who's actually going to pay for these tariffs? It's not just us.
In the end, both countries are going to suffer from these tariffs, but it will mainly be American companies that are left holding the bill. That's because the way these tariffs work, American companies will have to pay more for Canadian goods across the border, and as a result, they will most likely raise their costs as well, passing these tariffs down onto American consumers. Suddenly, in American grocery stores, Canadian beef, wine, and chocolate is going to get a lot more expensive. On the other hand, Canadian companies are going to suffer too, because it's going to be much harder to sell these products to the American populace.
So, what about Canadian grocery stores? Is it going to affect our grocery bills?
Yeah, so Canada has announced retaliatory tariffs on the United States, which means these targeted products are most likely going to be more expensive in the grocery store, and these can include American beer, bourbon, orange juice, etc. The thing is, Canada has been very careful in selecting its list of targeted imports, which means there will most likely be domestic alternatives or alternatives from other countries in our grocery stores that will not be affected. So most shoppers will be able to skirt around many of these price hikes.
So, this could actually hurt Canada's economy, or is it just a lot of political high drama?
So this is going to sting. Economists agree that this could cost hundreds of thousands of Canadians their jobs and easily plunge the country into recession. And the longer this trade war goes on, the worse its impacts are going to be. Now, jobs across every sector are expected to be impacted, especially the longer this drags on. But for now, especially jobs in the manufacturing sectors, if you work in, say, automobile manufacturing, your job might be at risk. That's because these companies that's because this sector works heavily in imports and exports across the US border. But as time drags on, who knows?
Well, thanks for answering all of our questions, Kevin. I have to say all of this sounds less than terrific, pun intended, and I will see myself out. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Saba.